Saint Augustine, commentary on Psalm 89 following. Since then that nation where thou didst deign to be born and to dwell was as a land separated from the waves of the heathen, so that it appeared dried and ready for watering with rain, while the rest of the nations were as a sea in the bitterness of their sterility. What do thy preachers who scatter thy truth in circuit of thee, when the waves of that sea rage furiously? Thou rulest the power of the sea. Verse 9. For what was the result of the sea raging thus but the day which we are now keeping holy? It slew martyrs, scattered seeds of blood, the harvest of the church sprang up. Safely then let the clouds go forth, let them diffuse thy truth in circuit of thee, let them not fear the savage waves. Thou rulest the power of the sea. The sea swells, buffets, and wars, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted beyond what ye are able. 1 Corinthians 10:13. And so thou stillest the waves thereof when they rise. Lastly, what hast thou done in the sea itself to pacify its rage and to weaken it? Thou hast humbled the proud as one that is wounded. Verse 10. There is a certain proud serpent in the sea, of which another passage of Scripture speaks, I will command the serpent, and he shall bite him. Amos 9:3. And again, there is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to mock him. Psalm 104, verse 26. Whose head he bruises above the water. Thou, he says, hast humbled the proud as one that is wounded. Thou hast humbled thyself, and the proud was humbled. For the proud held the proud ones through pride, but the great one is humbled, and by him, and by believing in him, becomes small. While the little one is nourished by the example of one who from greatness descended to humility, the devil has lost what he held, because the proud held only the proud. When such an example of humility was displayed before them, men learned to condemn their own pride and to imitate the humility of God. Thus also the devil, by losing those whom he had in his power, has even himself been humbled, not chastened, but thrown prostrate. Thou hast humbled the proud like one that is wounded. Thou hast been humbled and hast humbled others. Thou hast been wounded and hast wounded others. For thy blood, as it was shed to blot the handwriting of sins, Colossians 2:14, could not but wound him. For what was the ground of his pride except the bond which he held against us? This bond, this handwriting, thou hast blotted out with thy blood. Him therefore hast thou wounded, from whom thou hast rescued so many victims. You must understand the devil wounded not by the piercing of the flesh, which he has not, but by the bruising of his proud heart. Thou hast scattered thine enemies abroad with thy mighty arm. The heavens are thine, the earth also is thine. Verse 11. From thee, over thy earth, they reign. Thine are the heavens, by whom is preached thy truth in circuit of thee. There is the earth, which has received thy truth in circuit of thee. And what has resulted from that reign? Thou hast laid the foundation of the round world, and all that therein is. Thou hast created the north and the seas. Verse 12. For nothing has any power against thee, against its creator. The world indeed may rage through its own malice and the perversity of its will. Does it nevertheless pass over the bound laid down by the Creator who made all things? Why then do I fear the north wind? Why do I fear the seas? In the north indeed is the devil who said, I will sit in the sides of the north. I will be like the Most High. But thou hast humbled as one wounded the proud one. Thus what thou hast done in them has more force for thy dominion than their own will has for their wickedness. Thou hast created the north and the seas. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in thy name. Those mountains are here understood, but they have a meaning. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in thy name. Tabor, then interpreted, signifies an approaching light. But whence comes the light of which it is said, Ye are the light of the world? Matthew 5, verse 14. Unless from him concerning whom it is written, That was the true light which lighteth every man coming into the world. John 1:9. The light then, which is the light of the world, comes from that light which is not kindled from any other source, so that there is no fear lest it be extinguished. The light then comes from him who is that candle which is not seen beneath the bushel, but on the candlestick. Tabor, the coming light. Hermon means his curse. Justly the light comes and is made the curse of him, of whom but the devil, the wounded one, the proud one. Our illumination then is given from thee, that he is held accursed of us, who kept us in his own error and pride is from thee. Tabor and Hermon therefore shall rejoice, not in their own merits, but in thy name, for they shall say, Not unto us, Lord, not unto us, but to thy name give the praise, on account of the raging sea, lest the heathen say, Where is now their God? Psalm 105, verse 1 and 2. Thou hast a mighty arm. Verse 13. Let no man arrogate anything to himself. Thou hast a mighty arm. By thee we were created. By thee we have been defended. Thou hast a mighty arm, strong by thy hand and high by thy right hand. Righteousness and judgment are the preparation of thy seat. Verse 14. Thy righteousness and judgment will appear in the end. They are now hidden. Of thy righteousness it is treated in another psalm. Psalm 9. On the hidden things of the sun, there will then be a manifestation of thy righteousness and judgment. Some will be set on the right, others on the left hand. Matthew 25:33. And the unbelieving will tremble when they see what now they mock at and believe not. The righteous will rejoice when they shall see what they now see not, yet believe. Righteousness and judgment are the preparation of thy seat, especially in the day of judgment. What then now? Mercy and truth go before thy face. I should fear the preparation of thy seat, thy justice and thy coming judgment, did not mercy and truth go before thee? Why should I, at the end, fear thy righteousness, when with thy mercy going before thee, thou blottest out my sins, and by showing forth thy truth fulfills thy promises? Mercy and truth go before thy face, for all the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth.